Welcome to the Limit Free Life Show. I'm Michelle Perkins, your host. I bring you tips, advice, and guest stories about creating work you love. Whatever type of career or business you have or want, I want to help you find more meaning, money, and happiness. Now we are live from Hollywood. Hello. Thank you for being here. I'm Michelle Perkins, your host, and I am very excited to be back. I haven't actually done a live show in a few weeks, have I, Ryan? Yeah, and it has done some interest here, and is here in Money Mind Bigger. That's our show. We're in a very head and company. ML
10%. They work as a team and take individual responsibility. And they really can be coached. Here and did a bag of black trash. Is
wow.
So they're devastated. It's kind of like, what? Yeah. It didn't last as long. Blah, blah, blah. They really have to and even if they're about it, right. Things that who else hired. So results that they want.
So best for them to start while they're still playing.
It is absolutely the best. It really is. And I really take it in their season, etc. About them to do something doing. He was luck who's going to be together. I don't know that.
Yeah. Helping them see that next actually even be indicator that they.
So family, 2 boys, you got to help them along. You not only do you have to work,
so many people conversation, but they're used to really with.
Not to have to digging in and digging. Oh, this is just time. And of course, it's all about how to do some network of my website, and it's about 32 of the problems.
And a great guest and a lot of it, and the work that you're really an inspiration. I so retired from sports. Reach out to Lorenda. How do they contact?
Retired from sports.
Thank you. Best of reach.
Yeah,
okay.
Thank you.
This day after the show on this group of owners and people, some conversation could turn that into. Welcome to the Limit Free Life Show. I'm Michelle Perkins, your host. I bring you tips, advice, and guest stories about creating work you love. Whatever type of career or business you have or want, I want to help you find more meaning, money, and happiness. Now we are live from Hollywood. Hello. Thank you for being here. I'm Michelle Perkins, your host, and I am very excited to be back. I haven't actually done a live show in a few weeks. Have I, Ryan? I don't think so. And it feels kind of fun to be back here and talking to you again. And I have a great guest with me today, somebody who's doing something, she has done some interesting things, and she's switched her career, and she's created something very unique and interesting, and I can't wait to introduce her. And she's an example both of how to make a transition, how to create a new business, all kinds of exciting things. And so this show is dedicated to all of you who are looking to find work you love or to create work you love. So you small business owners, medium-sized business owners with a big dream, career transitioners who still want to work for an organization in some professional capacity, but make a change. And so also people who really want to understand their money. We do talk about money here and money mindset, which is the part of money that people don't typically talk about. And all of that is foundational to helping you make a change, to have a really great relationship with your money so you lose some of the fear around making a change and you're able to do some things in a bigger way. So that's our show. We've got a great guest today, and we're going to talk about business and transition in a very interesting endeavor that Lorenda is up to. So our guest today is Lorenda Phillips, and I'm going to go ahead and tell you a little about her. Lorenda is a master coach, and she has a team and a company. The team works for her new company called Retired from Sports, and Retired from Sports provides advisory services to current and former NFL, NBA, NHL, MLB, and PGA athletes to discover, create, and execute their next game plan for retirement. Her team provides one-on-one coaching, consulting, and training, along with professional concierge services. Lorenda believes that players should invest in themselves to secure their successful future. Lorenda, welcome. We share a few outside organizations. We're at a mastermind together, and so I've learned a little about you and what you're doing, but I'm so impressed by this because it is a big undertaking and very exciting one. And I'm going to let you jump in and maybe give a little background on what you had been doing and why you've transitioned in.
Yeah, I for a long time. My husband was a little older than me. They were a little older when they had them, so they were needing help. So I left corporate and then wanted something else, and somebody suggested coaching. So, coaching, I said, I'm not athletic, I'm coaching. But so I took a look on the fairly new internet, and look, there was a whole world out there, coaches and courses available and certifications. So I did that, and I landed on coaching small business owners. Mm-hmm. So that was really what I was talking about. So there was a lot of preaching the value of coaching. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but then built up my practice pretty quick. And and then one day I read something. It was an article about an article by Mr. Torres, who originally wrote it in the Sports Illustrated. He said that 78% of athletes have financial stress or bankruptcy within 2 years of their retirement.
Wow!
And that just, at first I read that and I thought, wow, those guys, they just throw their money away. I had a point of view about it, and then I read the same thing about 2 months later in a completely different venue, and I thought, wait a minute, something's going on here. I did some research. That night, I just got onto my computer and did some research and saw that, one, the statistic was pretty accurate, and two, there were a lot of reasons why that they had such difficulty. So, and then by the next day, I thought, I know how to develop people. I've been doing it for almost 20 years. I know the steps. I know the hard-headedness sometimes people are, and myself, and I just thought I think I could make a difference in this group of people. And in my research, and I then read research for months, probably 6-7 months of just researching, and pretty much I couldn't find very many people helping in this group. Mm. There are more organizations now. But 3 years ago is when I was doing all this. Okay. There wasn't much there. And I thought, I really think this is a coaching. So there's a coaching solution to this group of people that would make a difference for their future.
Yeah, that's a really interesting group. For one thing, kind of an intimidating group. So, you get a lot of credit for jumping in and saying, I can do this. Yeah. But it's also kind of sad because it's a group that is making enormous money, a lot of them anyway, yeah. And maybe having had no real financial training, so not really knowing how to handle that much money. And then suddenly they're retired at a fairly early age, and they've got this whole life ahead of them. So it's a really interesting group.
Yeah, it is. It is. Yeah, and you nailed it and summarized it quite nicely. Yep.
Okay, because it is a unique group of people. Somewhat, have you found it hard to break into that group, to find them, and open to the idea? I mean, do they realize that they have this?
It's so ironic. Everyone that I interview, that either whether it's for them to be a client of mine or just interview for research, everyone that